Hello everyone, Steve here again with another video, and this will be my review of the 2020 Survivor Series. It's going to be audio only. I've already explained that enough to where you should get the idea. Lost a tooth. Enough with that. Talk about the pre-show first. I watched it last night before I went to bed. I was supposed to work today, but I didn't sleep worth a damn, so I decided to call off. But I haven't seen the rest of the show yet, so I'll be watching each match and then recording a little bit and letting you know what I thought about it. But first, Miz won the stupid dual brand battle royal the way he always wins battle royals. I mean, this guy couldn't win a legit battle royal if his life depended on it. First, I'm going to talk about the opening intro. WWE always knocks it out of the park when they do these intros. They used a very cool song. One thing that me and Vince McMahon have in common is we both love AC/DC. They also did a fitting tribute to The Undertaker right at the start. I wonder if this really is the end. But we'll get into the match. First, we'll see how I picked it. I think Raw will go on to win without much trouble, and I am placing 3 confidence points on the match. First off, I have to explain that I do not watch the weekly shows during the Fantasy League off season. So my first question is, who is the big dude almost with AJ Styles? He's taller than Braun Strowman. But as we get into the match, first thing I noticed, Kevin Owens proves just how smart he is every time. He tagged in against Riddle and immediately started going after Riddle's bare feet, and I thought that was brilliant. Seth Rollins tags in and basically just sacrificed himself for the greater good. He takes a bro kick from Sheamus. And enjoy fatherhood, Seth. Raw is up 5-4. During the SmackDown team conference right after that, Braun Strowman just runs around the ring and freight trains every SmackDown member while they're talking. You know, that's vintage Braun Strowman. Then you can ask AJ Styles what it feels like to fly over the moon, because Kevin Owens hit a huge backdrop on him. After Owens gives a stunner to just about everybody from Raw that he sees, AJ hits him with a phenomenal forearm and gets a pin, and now Raw is up 5-3. King Corbin is in next. He hits the end of days on Styles. Raw team has to save their captain by breaking up the pin attempt. Riddle tags in after AJ hits a Pele kick. The original bro hits the floating bro and eliminates Corbin. Raw is up 5-2. Later on, Otis hits Caterpillar on Braun Strowman. When he gets up to do the Vader bomb, Braun basically just picks him off the turnbuckle, hits a power slam, 1, 2, 3. Raw's up 5-1. Jey Uso, he's the last man standing for SmackDown. He put up a good fight. He hits a suicide dive on every member of Raw except Strowman, who I think was in the ring. Jay set up AJ Styles for the top rope splash, but Keith Lee made a blind tag. Lee catches Jay as he jumps off the top rope. One spirit bomb later, it's all over. Raw wins 5-0. My overall thoughts on the match are that it worked out just as I thought it would. I saw Raw with a huge advantage. I didn't see a clean sweep happening, but I didn't see SmackDown having much of a shot. So after the first match, I get 3 confidence points. Go me! Okay, the New Day versus the Street Profits. Let's see how I picked it. I am picking the New Day in this match with 5 confidence points. New Day comes out with Big E, and they are dressed in Gears of War getup. I guess they're an addition to the game. I'm not a gamer, so I couldn't have cared less. It was good back and forth to start until Montez got caught in the New Day corner, and this is where the Raw Tag Team Champions started going to work. And there was a nice disrespect spot where Kofi drop kicks a Solo Cup while Woods had Montez in a chin lock. I thought that was pretty cool. And then, what the hell do you call that double underhook move that Dawkins gave to Woods once he got the hot tag? That was innovative. I'd never seen that before. The New Day hits a midnight hour on Ford, and it didn't look particularly good. It's probably why Ford kicked out of it. I love Montez Ford's frog splash. I don't think anyone gets up as high as he does when he delivers that move. Ford's earlier rib damage he sustained from the New Day caused a slow cover, and Kofi kicked out. But when Montez Ford attempts a Trouble in Paradise, that wasn't good at all. There was an elevated blockbuster from the Street Profits to Xavier Woods, and that gets the win for the SmackDown Tag Team Champions. There was a nice show of respect at the end of the match from the New Day. I thought this match was okay, but I did think both teams could have benefited from having more time. The time of the match was 13 minutes and 40 seconds, but it didn't seem like it was all that long. The New Day showed their heelish side, but raised the hands of the Street Profits when the match was over. My picks are now 1-1, and I took a 5-point confidence point hit. That will probably hurt me with my final score. Now it's United States Champion Bobby Lashley versus Intercontinental Champion Sami Zayn, and let's see how I picked it. My pick for this match is Sami Zayn. I'm only putting 1 confidence point on this pick. I almost forgot Byron Saxton existed. Sometimes I wish he didn't. This match starts on the outside when Sami was trying to dupe the Hurt Business into hitting him to cause a DQ. Once they got in the ring, Lashley just runs through a clothesline attempt from Sami and then hits one of his own. Sami looks like a redheaded Fidel Castro, and that's not a good look for him. A lot of smart heel tactics from Sami Zayn. Against a lesser opponent, this may have worked, but this is Bobby Lashley, so no dice. Sami tries his best to get Lashley either counted out or DQ'd, But once Lashley hooks on the Hurt Lock, Sami taps out. There wasn't much to this match except for a lot of running from Sami Zayn. And once he got put in Lashley's finisher, that was all she wrote. Now my picks are 1 and 2, but I only lost 1 confidence point. So that is how I'm staying positive for this show. Now we're on to Sasha Banks versus Asuka, and let's see how I picked it. I am picking Sasha Banks in this match with 4 confidence points. There was some nice grappling between the two women to get things started. Once they traded sending each other out of the ring, they started picking up the pace a little bit. There was a vicious knee strike from Asuka to Sasha that led to a 2 count. A nice counter from Sasha to avoid a Shining Wizard from Asuka. And Sasha did an innovative abdominal stretch that was kind of combined with an octopus that she put on Asuka. Nice double knee code breaker from Asuka to Sasha on the outside. Sasha counters Asuka coming off the ropes and is able to keep the Raw Women's Champion down for a 3 count. I think this was definitely the best match we've seen between these two women. Sasha gets a hard-earned victory, and now I'm back to even with my picks at 2 and 2, plus I get 4 confidence points. Now we have the Women's Survivor Series match. And let's see how I picked it. In the end, I think Raw will come out on top, and I will put 2 confidence points on this pick. First, they show how Nia Jax has put Lana through the announce table for 9 weeks in a row. This alone makes me glad that I'm not watching the weekly shows during the off season. I would imagine that viewers would grow tired of this after a while. Ruby Riot's haircut makes her look like a boy. I mean, not a guy, but a boy. There was a neat looking backbreaker from Shayna Baszler to Ruby Riot. I thought that was cool. Lana tagged herself into the match and did a fairly decent job until Nia tagged in and made Lana stand on the ring steps for the rest of the match. Peyton Royce gets the first elimination by surprisingly pinning Bayley after a deja vu, and Raw is up 5-4. Natalya taps out Peyton Royce with a sharpshooter a little while after that. So now we're tied at 4-4. Lacey Evans comes in after a little bit of back and forth with Natty. Natalya's gone after getting hit with a woman's right. And Raw is up 4-3. The Riot Squad do some decent double team moves to try to negate Nia Jax, but Nia gets to her corner and tags in Shayna. Baszler beats up Ruby and puts her out with the Kirifuda clutch. Ruby tried to counter it into a pin, but I guess midway through the count, Ruby passes out, and then Shayna pins Ruby Riot, and Raw is up 4-2. There's a nice crucifix bomb from Liv Morgan to Lacey Evans, and Lacey is eliminated, and now Raw is up 3-2. Nia eliminates Liv Morgan after a Samoan drop. So Raw is up 3-1. And then they made Shayna Baszler look really dumb by not breaking her Kirifuda clutch on Bianca Belair after a 5 count when Bianca was in the ropes. Shayna gets DQ'd and Raw is up 2-1. Right after Shayna's elimination, Bianca and Nia fight on the outside until the ref counts to 10, and they are both counted out. So, of all people, Lana is the sole survivor, and Raw wins 1-0. This was a goat screw of a match. Most people I've heard from predicted that Lana would be the sole survivor. And I guess if you can call that winning, then Lana won the match for Raw. This was definitely the worst match so far. And the way they ended it just baffled me. But on a positive note, I got the match correct and I earned 2 confidence points. Now we get to the main event, Drew McIntyre versus Roman Reigns, and let's see how I picked it. I am picking Roman Reigns to win this match with 6 confidence points. Nice hype package prior to the introductions. Drew looked really awkward when he was jamming the sword into the ramp. That didn't look good because I don't know if it was supposed to go straight in or not, but it didn't. It was an awfully slow start to the match. The piped in "You suck" chant didn't help things at all. Roman puts Drew through the announce table and then spears him through the barricade, but can't keep the WWE Champion down for 3. Roman hits Drew with another spear in the ring, and it's still not enough. Roman goes for a big spear out of the corner, and Drew counters that with a Claymore kick, but it runs Roman into the ref. Jey Uso shows up to distract Drew. Roman hits Drew with a low blow, and then Jey hits Drew with a super kick. Another ref shows up after Roman puts Drew in the guillotine, and the new ref calls the match for Roman. This makes 3 WWE Champion versus Universal Champion matches in a row where the WWE Championship changes hands on the go-home show prior to Survivor Series and still loses to the Universal Champion. This match was basically slower, and slowest until they got to the final sequence. They picked up the pace after that. It's not what I was expecting, and I thought the slow start really hurt this match. But I get this match correct, and I earn 6 confidence points. And if you count the Battle Royal on the pre-show, Raw wins Survivor Series 4-3. And I don't think SmackDown has ever won Survivor Series since the second brand split. Now we get to the final farewell for The Undertaker. They do an introduction for Shane McMahon, Big Show, JBL, Jeff Hardy, Mick Foley, The Godfather, The Godwins, Savio Vega, Rikishi, Kevin Nash, Booker T, Shawn Michaels, Ric Flair, Triple H, and Kane. And then they do a separate introduction for Vince McMahon after they did a very nice video package for The Undertaker. Vince gives a pretty good speech. You can tell he was pretty much emotional talking about the farewell for The Undertaker. Undertaker gets to the ring, does a short and sweet farewell, and does a nice tribute to his longtime manager, Paul Bearer, who passed away a few years ago. My thoughts on The Undertaker are that there were things that I loved about him, and there were definitely things that I could do without. I hated his entrance. The slow walk that sometimes took longer than his actual match used to annoy me to no end. But he is one of the all-time greats and deserves to be placed on the Mount Rushmore of professional wrestling. My overall thoughts on Survivor Series is that it was a good show, but not a great show. I would have liked a faster pace in the main event, and if they did that, then they could have given the New Day and the Street Profits some more time to make their match even better. My favorite match was New Day and the Street Profits, and the worst match was definitely the Women's Survivor Series match. I ended this show with 15 confidence points out of a possible 21. That's not bad, but I know I can do better, and will try to do so when next we meet for NXT TakeOver War Games in a couple of weeks. Until then, this is Steve saying, see ya!